Hey guys, what's up? Lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the 2014 historical fiction action-adventure film. That is an hour and 45 minutes long, starring Kit Harington. Pompeii. Takes place in 79 AD. Romans still are pretty much in control of many places. Starts out actually in northern Britannium. I think that's what they called Britain back then. And then they show Londonium, which was London before it changed names. Many things change names, obviously. They pray to the god Vulcan, who is really the Greek version of... Vulcan is a Roman version of Hephaestus. Hephaestus is Greek. All Rome did was literally take the Greek gods and just change the names. That's really it. But Kit Harington is the main character. So Kit Harington comes from the Celtics that this particular senator and his Roman legion wiped out. Now, that's the interesting thing. Most films, most iterations of Romans is negative. Most. Minus Rick Riordan's book series, The Percy Jackson and the Olympians, Heroes of Olympus, Kane Chronicles, Trials of Apollo, Let There Be Light. Rick's Romans, if that makes any sense, are not as douchebaggeried as real Romans were. One of my favorite Roman movies is The Eagle, starring Channing Tatum and Jamie Bell, about going into Scotland, basically. Well, ancient Scotland, which isn't really called Scotland, to retrieve this eagle. That was a golden eagle. It was on a staff. Romans were kind of wiped out by the Britannians at that point. So Channing Tatum and Jamie Bell goes back. We're going to talk about that movie one day. But the point being is, this film, Pompeii, taking place in 79 AD, portrayed Romans as these evil individuals. And this Roman senator comes to Pompeii to initially strike a deal on some kind of expansion for Pompeii with one of the local politicians, and then tries to woo the hand in marriage of the politician's daughter who escaped him in Rome. But Kit Harington is a slave in all of this because Kit Harington was taken as a boy from the village that senator happened to destroy, 20-something years before that. Then Mount Vesuvius just, explodes constantly. What I love about this film, I love many things about this film. I don't understand why this was not as successful as it actually should have been, because this was a perfect film. Kudos to everyone who made this. The score was gorgeous. Cinematography was beautiful. CGI, beautiful. Horse training, excellent. Costume design, set design, wonderful. Accurate. I don't understand why this did not get the credit it deserved. Like Three Musketeers, which came out in 2010, 2011? Perfect. Does not get the credit it deserves. We're going to talk about that movie at another time as well. We're going to get into a whole historical fiction review section at some point. I got to go through the Wimpy Kid films. I got to go through some other things. I got to go through the Marvel films to catch up for Endgame. I got a list. But we'll get to historical fiction again. So Kit Harington is an amazing actor. Obsessed. I have a picture of him on my wall. Kit is awesome. He is awesome. We all know him as Jon Snow from Game of Thrones, a.k.a. Aegon Targaryen, etc., the King of the North. So we're going to see if Jon survives, the game. But he plays this slave, Milo, who they just call Kilt. And he, fights and befriends another, guard. And what's funny about Thor Ragnarok is that particular gladiator battle scene and competition and camaraderie reminded me of Pompeii, because Pompeii's been out for a while. Pompeii's been out for what, 5 years technically? And Ragnarok just came out recently, so it's kind of funny having it all come together. Then eventually, obviously, everyone dies. But the film starts out with the plaster molds of the deceased individuals that were covered in the ash. Because when archaeologists were rediscovering the ancient city of Pompeii, they found these hollow sockets. They filled the sockets with plaster. They took away the dirt from the plaster. And lo and behold, there was the bodies in various positions. The most popular is the couple that are holding onto each other, which are resembled as the two politicians and his wife in this particular film. There's another of couple kissing, which is resembled as Kit's character and the daughter politician embracing on a hilltop. But the one that is not talked about the most, and rightfully so, is the guy masturbating while he's dying. And we all refer to him in the meme world as the legend. That you're literally cranking one out as you're dying. Legend, right? That is just legend status to just... That is like big D energy right there. That is every meme that you can think of in regards to male genitalia right there. Pew! Pew, pew, pew. Up. Awesome. Clearly that was not in this film. But the film starts out with those plaster bodies, and the score is very silent, and then it gets louder and emotional, and then there's this note, and you're like, oh my god, my heart, and you feel it. And then the score throughout the whole movie is perfect, depending on the scene. When there's like chaos going on, you have this Latin vocals just in a choral aspect going through. At the end of the film, it fades out exactly how it faded in. Faded in on the plaster bodies, faded out on the plaster bodies. Amazing! Why does this film not get as much recognition as it should? Kit did a fantastic job, and whenever I meet him, I'm going to shake his hand and say thank you for being in Pompeii, because that was a gorgeous representation of 79 AD Pompeii as the mountain exploded. You deserve the credit. You get all the credit for Jon Snow, you get no credit for Pompeii, and you deserve credit for Pompeii because Pompeii was legit. Thank you. Thank you, Kit Harington. Thank you, everyone involved with this film, especially the director, especially the writer, the cinematographer, the set design, the lighting guy, the guy in charge of the music. Everyone. Thank you. Mucho mahalo, guys.